Welcome to the UKOCR Community Podcast, presented by Obstacle Racing Media. Each episode, we'll be talking to race directors, elite runners, weekend warriors, and frankly, anyone else from the UKOCR scene that will talk to us. Here is your host, Alan, aka Muddy Duck.
Anywhere in Chicken Town. The bloody scene is bloody sad. The bloody news is bloody bad.
Now, Julie, you are a person of many hats. But first of all, I want to talk, because not many people know, but my first ever job, I was a ski instructor. And I know you do ski instructing. Am I right in saying that?
You are right in saying that. Well, yes, I have been a ski instructor for 17 years now. However, I don't actively do it anymore.
Where did you train, or where did you teach?
I taught at Snowzone at Castleford, and I did my qualifications. I did the level 1 there, which means you can teach anywhere in the UK. I also did UK Advanced there as well, and then I went to Switzerland to do my level 2, which means I can teach anywhere in the world except France.
Oh wow, amazing! Now, I never had a single qualification.
Okay.
You're not going to believe where I taught people to ski. I don't know. I'm not going to ask your age, but I'm in my mid-50s now. And back in, well, I would have been 16 at the time. So that would be a long time ago, 85. And I worked for a company called Intersport, and they installed the first ever rolling ski slope. So it was like a treadmill that you learned to ski on. And that's where I taught people to ski. I loved it.
We used to have one of those at Snowzone. I wasn't very good at them, though. I didn't teach on that. I'm better on snow.
I did a couple of courses on how to teach people to ski, and I'd never ever been on snow when I used to do it, so I couldn't tell people that. But when I taught people, I'd never ever been on snow. I've done the dry ski slopes and everything else, but I'd never ever been on snow when I was teaching. So I was like, my first ever job. Crazy.
You do it now then?
No, I haven't. The last time I skied, I must have been about 19, I want to say. So it would have been like 1980s. And I went to Chamonix in France, and I skied for I bummed around Chamonix for about a month, and just slept wherever I could sleep and skied wherever I could ski. And as tourists was leaving, I'd be saying, have you got a day? Have you got a day left on that ski pass there? Can I have it? You know, I'll buy you a beer.
I love that.
Yeah, and I lived about a month doing that. So yeah, many years ago. Let's get back to a little bit of OCR. I thought we've got something in common, haven't we? A bit of ski instructing. Now, I have mentioned in the introduction, which you haven't listened to because I'll record that later on and thing, but you are from Diablo race, but you're a bit more than that. So before we talk about Diablo and the farm scramble, let's find out a little bit about you and that. Now, I understand you are a PT instructor, fitness instructor. Which do you prefer?
I'm a personal trainer, so I prefer that. I have been a personal trainer for a good few years now, qualified as a level 4, and I have lots of qualifications. I specialise in obesity, diabetes, sports conditioning, life coaching, outdoor fitness. There's a lot, and I've done mental health first aid, suicide first aid. I've done a psychology diploma, and I've already got a psychology management degree, and cognitive behavioural therapy. So I've tried to do it because my personal training isn't just about the physical side, it's all about mental health as well. So I have got my counselling qualifications up to level 4. So yes, I enjoy doing that. I have lots of clients.
Mental health's quite a big thing at this moment in time, isn't it? And I guess in the OCR world, and I know a lot of people will agree when I say this, is that it's a bit of I'm going to say it's a middle-class sport. OCR is a bit of a middle-class sport. And a lot of the people that get involved with it do tend to be, or get involved with it for fun elements, do tend to be in that middle-aged time in the life. And it becomes very much, I guess you used to call it a midlife crisis, and it becomes a bit of a midlife crisis to get over there. And it helped me with my mental health. I was in a place when I found OCR, I was super overweight. I was in a downward spiral, found OCR, brought me back from the depths of despair, and my listeners know that. You find that being a personal trainer, you actually deal with a lot of that. You said you touched on your mental health there, and that is that. I guess that's a massive thing for you to lift people and that.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, one of the main things that people come and see me about is obviously not just the physical side, it's the mental health side. And the amount of people who've said to me, just by doing exercise, how better they feel in their heads. I mean, one of the reasons I became a personal trainer and focused on mental health was I was the snow sports manager for Snow Zone Yorkshire. I then became the general manager there as well. And I had a lot of people working for me, all different ages. I dealt with a lot of people, you know, from the public. And I just noticed how many people were struggling with mental health. And so it's just about, for me, helping as many people as I can. I'm also a support worker for the suicide bereavement team for Mind. So I volunteer there. And unfortunately, suicide just seems to be just rife at the minute. And, you know, there aren't enough volunteers to support people. And it's about just, for me, giving back a little bit. And if I can support and help just a few people, then I feel like I'm giving something. You know, for me, it's all about helping as many people as I possibly can. And I just see when someone comes to me and they leave with a smile on their face, and, you know, they have less worries and the stress levels have reduced, then I feel like I've been a success.
Oh,
And
without a doubt.
Hopefully they feel the same as well.
Yeah. I did a mental health training course. I work for the government, as people know. And I did a mental health training course not long since. And something I didn't realise, that the biggest killer of men in the UK is actually between the ages of 18 and 35, is actually suicide. And that's absolutely, I was shocked at that, you know, thinking, you know, we've got diabetes, cancer, there's so many illnesses and diseases, but the biggest single killer is absolutely suicide. And sport, like I said, for me, finding obstacle course racing at a time when I was at my down was massive for me. And, you know, yeah, sport is the thing. I mean, you said you're on Mind there. I've got an Ian, my notes put on there that you're involved with Mind and that, but he never told me why. He just put speak about Mind. So you've actually touched that on there, which is absolutely great. And that. What about the nutrition side? Does that help? Do you help a lot of people who are struggling with nutrition? Because that could be a big suicide factor, can't it, as well?
It can. And I have got a qualification in nutrition, but I'm not a nutritionist. So I'm classed as a nutrition coach, which means I can guide people. But my thing has always been, it's not about diets. And this is personally me. I don't necessarily believe in diets. I believe in healthy eating, healthy drinking as well. And, you know, not taking everything out of your diet just because a lot of people think, oh, I need to take out the biscuits and the chocolate and the cake. Well, actually, it's okay to have them occasionally. It's okay to have a pint of beer occasionally. It's just not doing the binge drinking and, you know, gorging on the food. So for me, I do talk about nutrition, but individuals have got to decide for themselves what their diet is going to be. I am very clear that if they come and do exercise with me and they keep eating or drinking what they were eating and drinking, potentially they might just plateau. So they're not necessarily going to lose weight, but they might not necessarily gain weight. So I am very clear on that.
I'd be a nightmare, me, because I only run so that I can drink. I exercise so that I can party as often as possible. That's my excuse.
Was it you who did a post the other day on Facebook which was asking about what people eat and drink and it all related to obstacle course racing, and the amount of people who were saying, yes, well, I do it so that I can actually have whatever it is that they like.
That's it, yeah. I was at Costa Coffee. I was on one of these training courses, and I got into Costa Coffee, and I thought, what do I want from Costa? I just thought a cup of coffee, and I thought, oh no, I'm going to have one of them frappes. And I thought, oh look, there's a healthy breakfast there as well, which I think was egg and spinach. And I got into my head, it was egg and spinach on bread. It's healthy. I know it's not. I really know it's not in the back of my head, but I was like, it's healthy enough for me. I'll have that. And I was like, yeah, this is not right. And then I posted the picture and asked, what do you diet? Because I'm I'm the worst dieter of them all. I'm trying intermittent fasting at the moment. I am finding that helps me control my weight, I guess, and I am controlling it because I do like a drink. I do like to eat good food. But I'm finding if I don't eat from 8 p.m. on a night right through to lunchtime the following day, I can quite easily lose a pound or two. And then I tend to keep it off. I'm trying to keep it off. Is it something you recommend, intermittent fasting, or?
It is, and I've done it myself. I mean, I don't tend to eat after about, unless I'm going out for dinner, after about 6:30 on an evening. But I do believe in breakfast, and that's just me personally. Again, because I've got a lot of PTs at 6 o'clock in the morning, I might have breakfast in a small gap, which might be about 8:15 in the morning. And then I might not necessarily be able to have lunch because I'm running back to back with meetings. So then I have an early-ish tea. And then hope that kind of sees me through until the next morning. But I also obviously have a lot of fruit as well to keep me going. So no, I do believe in it. And I have got a personal training friend who's been doing an experiment with it, and he's noticed a massive difference, not necessarily with weight, but in terms of how he feels in himself, and back injuries and aches and pains he's found has in a way disappeared as a result of it. And whether that's just a psychological thing or whether it's connected, I don't know, but it's interesting.
Well, that's made me think, because I've been doing it for 4 weeks, and I have lost 1 stone in 4 weeks. So, that's good.
Yeah.
Yes. But I did, I'm going to tell people now, this is going to go out 3 weeks after we record this, but this is the week after Europe's toughest mudder, which I did 60 kilometers, which I thought was quite good. But then 2 days after, I actually went for a 10-mile run. I have never, ever gone for any run 2 days after covering more than a marathon distance. So that's just made me think now, could it be that the intermittent fasting's helping?
It could be, absolutely. I'm not a doctor.
You've got me thinking.
I don't know, but it could be. Let's go with it.
Let's just accept the fact I'm doing it.
Let's hope no one challenges us on that.
So you talk about personal fitness and that. Do you have many clients? How big is your client list? Have you got lots? Are you online? Tell me more.
I have so I have a garage, gym set up in my garage, and right. I have lots of clients. And then I do boot camp twice a week, which I've actually changed into a bit of an OCR type boot camp to help people locally who might want to come and do our Diablo challenge.
Yeah.
And I do that on the farmland that's been used for our event. And I do that every Tuesday and every Thursday. So I've got lots of people come to that.
And that's why we're recording quite late at night as well, because you've just come straight back from boot camp. I've got to admit, you're looking very, very good. There's no sweatiness, and that which we normally see people from boot camp. So I'm sure you didn't do it tonight. I'm sure you've got all your makeup and everything else ready for me.
No, I did it, and then I had a quick shower.
Absolutely amazing.
In my boot camp state.
Quickly let's go to Diablo then. So first of all, what made you get into OCR? Have you done OCRs before you started the company? Tell me more about that.
So I have done OCRs before. I've done Tough Mudder. I've done the Rat Race. I've done local ones. We used to have one just down the road from us. And I've always personally enjoyed them. I enjoy running. In all honesty, I'm not a massive runner. I've been running a running program for 3 years, but I'm not an avid runner. It's more the fact that I can see the benefits of it. And why obstacles is just, I think it just gives it a little bit more, it makes it more exciting. It's more of a challenge. I enjoy trying to get over things and sliding down things and getting muddy. And that's just me. I like a challenge and like to see what I can do. So yes, I have. And do you want to know? So is the question why we set it up?
Well, yeah, you can do. But first of all, you say you're not a runner. However, I know that in October last year, you went to run the Yorkshire Three Peaks with some of your clients. So you are a bit of a runner.
No, we didn't necessarily run it. We did the Yorkshire Three Peaks. There were people running it, and I said, "Oh, they're doing really well." And we did the Scafell Pike as well. Yes. So the reason why we did the Yorkshire Three Peaks and Scafell Pike was actually for the very same reason that I think OCR events are really good. Was some of my clients needed a challenge. And so every year now we do a new challenge. So this year we're either doing Ben Nevis or Snowdonia, and they're all coming on the Diablo challenge as well. But it's all about just having something that they can work towards. And we do it as a team, and everybody helps each other. And if someone's struggling, then everyone waits until that person can keep up. So it's great to just support each other. And we have fun. We stay over the night before and we have a meal together and maybe a couple of glasses of wine. Don't tell anyone the personal trainer does that occasionally.
So, yeah, I like that. Only a couple of glasses though.
Absolutely.
So what made you start it up then? You know, you said you'd done the OCRs and that.
Well, because I've been for a long time, I've been teaching. So I was teaching Insanity. I've been teaching the boot camp, which is obviously outdoor. We've got the land. The two people that, or two of the people that are supporting me have a lot of farmland. And I just got to thinking, why not do something? I'm an event manager by trade. I've been in project management since the start of my career because I used to be a management consultant in financial services. So I'm more than capable of managing a project, and setting up an event is basically that. And I thought, well, that coupled with fitness and giving people something to work towards would be a great reason to set it up. And I think my experience in the last few years of seeing so many people struggling with health, so many people being bereaved by people who have died by suicide, it just made me think, you know what, maybe we need more events. And whether that's an OCR or it's more 5Ks or more 10Ks or just something else, it's just giving back to people and allowing more of my clients and other people across the UK to have a goal to work towards. And, you know, the OCR was probably because, you know, we're more than capable of designing some obstacles. We've had fun doing it. And, you know, as I say, we've got the land, so why not? And when I looked at a map of the UK and looked at the amount of OCR events, there's not as many in our area of North Lincolnshire, Hull and East Yorkshire, across to North East Lincolnshire. There's lots of running races and there are smaller mud races, but there's not as many bigger ones. So I thought, well, why not give that a go? And potentially, you never know, move across the UK at some point. But, you know, for now, we'll start on the land that we've got.
That's awesome. Ian, my researcher, mentioned to me, he says you're doing this on farmland. And now there's actually 3 events literally across the belt. There's yourself, there's Bog Commander, and there's Overload Run. And literally you could draw a straight line between all 3 of them and all 3 are run on farmland. And Ian was like, is it coincidence? Is it what? And I said, I don't know. I said, it's just, I guess there's a lot of farmland in the area and that. Well, what type of farmland is it? Because I look at Bog Commander. So Bog Commander is very hilly, very rural land that has lots of sheep on and you don't grow any crops on. Overload tends to be 50-50. So there's animals on it 24/7, 365, but it also has several fields that grow crops. What about Farm Scrambler? What type of land are we using there?
It's a mix. So we've got land that's used for sheep. So Roger and Abby, who are on the team, they are sheep farmers. So there's a lot of sheep land. There's parts of the land that is just really used for my boot camp. So it's got 2 horses on at the minute, and then lots of tyres that I use and telegraph poles and things like that. And then we've got other pieces of land where they grow crops. And that's why we had to choose the 23rd of September, because we've got to make sure that the land is ready. They've finished doing what they need to do, and before the farmer needs to go back onto the land. So, yeah, it's kind of a mix. And everyone thinks North Lincolnshire is really flat, and it is in places, but we've got a brilliant hill. And it's a huge hill, which means I can go up and down it a few times. So we have lots of things to do on there. And we've also got 2 man-made hills on one part of the farm that I don't actually know why they built it in the first place. But yeah, there's 2 hills that people are going to have to climb up and do all sorts with. So yes, we've got hills and a mixture of different types of farmland.
I'm liking it so far. It's all sounding good. 7 kilometres. That's a strange distance, though.
Yes, that's probably me, because I just thought, you know what, in our area, there's a lot of 5K runs, obviously the park runs that people do are 5Ks. Then you have people who can achieve 10Ks, but knowing some of my running clients, to some people it's a bit daunting to go to that 10K. So I just thought, you know what, why not go slap bang kind of in the middle, give or take a little bit, and do, for people who can do a 5K or are aiming towards that, give them something a little bit more of a challenge. But then, you know, it's just slightly less than a 10K as well. So there was a reason behind it. But what we have said is, because there are a few people who are umming and ahhing, and I think one of the things is they're saying, I don't know whether I can run 7 kilometers. And I keep saying to people, if you just want to walk it, that's okay. If you don't want to do an obstacle, that's okay. For us, it's about giving it a go. If you bypass something, as long as you go through the finishing line at the end, from our perspective, you've completed it.
Too right. Touch on obstacles. 27 as well. You're using weird numbers that we're not used to using in OCR. 7K, 27 obstacles, or over 27 is what you're saying. So let's say, have you got 27 that you've got already built in mind, but you're thinking we might build some extra things just to get you all surprised, or what was the 27 come from?
So 27 came from, we just sat down together and we all started designing different obstacles. And when we kind of got to the end, we said, we've got 27. And the whole idea initially was, we didn't just want a shorter run with just a few obstacles, because for us, it's more about the obstacles themselves. So giving people a challenge, making it nice and fun for people. So we said, well, the more obstacles we have, hopefully people will enjoy it a little bit more. So we ended up with a 27, but then we said, well, actually, as we've got carried away, we kind of keep finding another piece of, equipment that we could use and adapt it. And we said, well, we could potentially do that. So there might be a few thrown in. Obviously, we need to be careful because we have to, we are very stringent on everything in the background. So we have an event management plan. We have risk assessments. Obviously, we're fully insured, or we will be. Obviously, it's gone through the underwriters already. But from our perspective, it's about making sure everything is in place. So obviously, the insurers will know exactly how many obstacles. Yeah. But at least anyone booking on will know that there's definitely going to be 27. Might be more.
This podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Cold Pod. Maybe it's a fad, or maybe it works, but the Muddy Duck uses it and he swears it's reduced his recovery time after those long runs. You can get yourself one today and save 10% on that purchase price using code UKHXR. Just head on over to thecoldpod.com. Remember, there may very well be cheaper ones out there, but we don't want you to get caught out by shoddy quality. So we've tried and tested this and can recommend that they're great.
What's the toughest obstacle do you think you've got? Are you going to tell us which one you think is going to be the toughest one for people to manage?
I suppose everyone's different. So I think one that I've already mentioned on Facebook advertising was one where you go onto a container, which, imagine a container that would be on the back of a lorry, and you have to climb up a scramble net up onto the top. We're going to have checker plates on the top, so obviously people can't slip and hurt themselves, but run or walk across the top. And then there's going to be planks at the other side with ropes hanging down, and they have to move, and they're obviously moving planks, so they have to move from one plank to the other to get off the container down onto the ground. So for some people, that will be a challenge. And then you've got things like the skip that I call hot springs. Well, in reality, I'm not going to make it hot water. So it might be, cold. Some people have said you're not going to use ice. And the more they say you're not going to use ice, the more I think maybe I should put ice in there. So, and then there's down the hill, we're going to have a drainage pipe, and people have to slide down the drainage pipe into a nice muddy watery patch at the bottom. So that's more about fun, but there's other ones where they've got to scramble up the hill and it's all going to be a muddy ditch. So there's going to be lots. Forklift truck, which people were naming, I won't say what they were naming on Facebook last night, but rope climbs, which some people I personally find really difficult. So, some people will find it hard. They might be like me where they just climb up it and do one little move and then go, yep, that's me done. I'll move on to the next obstacle. Other people might be at whatever height we put it at.
I like that. It's, as you said earlier, you got some good obstacles there. You got some good tough ones. You've got some that are going to be fun. You've got some inventive ones as well. The container going down to moving planks of wood. That's a whole new one to me. I've never seen that before. Yes, I might have seen it going up a container, but never coming off it. I love the idea of things like that new. You're right, climbing a rope. It's easy for some people. People who do OCR and have done it quite a lot, it's bread and butter to them. But then again, you've got someone, they started somewhere, and everyone tells you when they first started climbing a rope, we all struggled. It was like, I remember when I used to do it at school, and I would clamp my knees together to try and hold the rope and then use my thing. Now I know all about using J-hooks and things like that, but back then it was like, no, and you're going to find a lot of people who've never done OCR. They're going to do the knee clamp, and they're going to try and use the arm, and it's going to be tough.
That was me in school. I was the one who was still at the bottom of the rope when everyone else was at the top.
yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, we did teach things. Now, you have been a little bit cryptic in one of your Facebook posts, so I want to know a little bit about this, because you've put the final part of the course is going to be the funniest to watch. Now, can you tell us more about this, or are you keeping this completely under wraps?
No, it's mainly because, in all honesty, you can see more of that, but that's where the hill is. So that's where we have lots of things going on. We've got inflatables within a ditch filled with water that they have to try and run across, which in reality, whether you can run across inflatables will be interesting. So the chances are they will be in water. But that's where a lot of the obstacles will be. And the event village across from there is where everyone can obviously stand and watch. So I am sure the spectators will enjoy that section.
Oh, wow. That sounds absolutely spot on. I like it when you get spectators involved. I love an event where spectators can see 70+% of an OCR. There's too many OCRs, or the way when I first started. I started in 2013 in OCR, and I used to take my wife with me, and she, bless her cotton socks, she would come with me in the freezing cold, and she would stand there and I would run off, and then, 10K. So about an hour, just over an hour later, I would appear back over the horizon, and she'd see me do one obstacle and finish, and that was it. And in that hour, she had nothing to do. There was nothing to see, nothing going off. OCRs move forward in some events. Not all events have moved forward like that, but it's great to see that you're encouraging that. You're encouraging, like, let's get the spectator, let's let them see what's happening. And I mean, I've seen that you've got children, your event's saying from 15 and above. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, here's put the best comment on it is put ages of 15 and above, adult supervision is needed for under 18s and for muddy ducks. Obviously, is meaning me. So I've got to have adult supervision. So it's great that you're encouraging that 15-year-old. Have you got plans maybe after this one, maybe to go even younger for maybe a smaller event, or are you going to try and keep it at that age? What's your plans there?
So we talked with British Obstacle Sports about this, because they really wanted us to do a younger event. The only reason why we haven't this time is we wanted to get things right. We wanted to make sure that we had everything correct, and it's our first ever event. So we wanted to target, obviously, adults mainly. So yes, absolutely. Potentially this next year we will do it, but we just didn't want to take on too much for our very first event. But I know there's a lot of people, I've had a lot of messages from people wanting an event for children. And I've got children of my own, and I know a lot of children in the area that would love to take part. So yes, hopefully next year.
Oh, amazing. I like that as well, that you're growing naturally. You want to put an event on and get it right before you grow something bigger and go for the next challenge. That means that tells me you're doing it right. That for me personally, that tells me you're doing it right, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I know you've got a lot of partners. Yeah, let's give a shout out to some of your partners, but don't mention your MC, because I'm going to keep that under wraps until the end, because I know who your MC is. So yeah, I do. Who have you got? So who's your list of partners for the event?
So one of the main ones is a company called Echo, that provides cloud solutions and is involved in all sorts of things to do with IT. They are an amazing financial sponsor for us. So a massive shout out to them. We've also got 5-star courses who again have provided a financial donation for us. Then we've got edex.co.uk and also MKM Building Supplies. Both of them have provided an enormous amount of wood for us and a lot of the material that is needed to build. And I know they're providing more soon, certainly edex are. So they get used to us going with a trailer and picking up more. So that's been amazing. KDG Workwear, they have provided me with about 100 high-vis vests, which obviously all of my marshals can wear, various colours, and also they're doing some branded ones specifically for the team, the 4 of us who are on the team for Diablo Challenge. And that's been amazing. We've got Tesco, they have offered to do all the water for the water station. We've got Sadie's Tea Room, which is a lovely tea room in Crowell. They've offered to do protein bites at the water station. So if anyone wants to pick one of those up as they run round. Meters to Miles, that sell a lot of the specialist trainers, high brand trainers, and other sporting equipment. They're from a local village. They're providing us with a lot of equipment for the event because they've done a Tough Mudder type event before, mud style event. And so they have a lot of material that we can use. So they've given us that free of charge. We've got the amazing music machine. They are providing us with a PA system, with they're doing DJ services for us. They've got all the speakers that we need. So they're doing that alongside Nightlights event hire, and they're providing again with between the 2 of them, PA system, all the radio mics that we need, all the radio so that we can communicate with first aid as needed. And then we've got I'll Be Fit, which is a local personal training where it's a gym, but also the personal trainers in the next village along from me. They are going to do a warm-up for everyone who is taking part. Because whilst I am a personal trainer, obviously on the day I'm the race director, so I can't be in 2 places. So they're providing personal trainers for every single start, and they'll make sure everyone is nicely warmed up and stretched. And then who else have we got? We've got obviously Humberside Fire and Rescue. They are bringing a engine along and all of their a lot of the team, and they are actually using it as a recruitment event. So hopefully people will come along if they are interested in joining our local fire service. Also to find out a little bit more about the fire service in general as well. So they've been brilliant, the fact that they want to come and help. I've put British Obstacle Sports on there and the fact that they have licensed us, which is great. Yeah. And to get that when we're a new event is amazing for us. And then obviously I've mentioned, Mind. We do have another sponsor, but I can't quite mention them yet because it hasn't kind of all just been crossed off, but they'll be added to my list on the website, hopefully over the next 2 days. So do you know what? It's been amazing to see how many people have helped myself and the team because they see the benefits of what we're doing for people. They see that we are donating a percentage of each ticket sale to Mind, and they just want to support something, locally, which hopefully will encourage a lot of people to come into our area as well. We want to get North Lincolnshire a little bit on the map. So, it would be great for people to come and see that actually we're a lovely bunch of people and, we're professional and we're going to have an amazing event.
Yeah, I have no doubts about that. But I want to know your MC on the day. If I'm right, is going to be Alan Raymond, who's a GB para triathlete, and he is an amazing para triathlete. How did you get him to come and be an MC? I want to know these secrets.
He's I know him.
It's a friendship thing.
So he is local, and he gets involved in every local event. He's just inspirational. And, you know, when I've done events of old within the kind of the local area, and he's been the MC, he's the one on the microphone saying, come on, Julie, you can do it. So, you know, I've seen how much he's encouraged me of old. Yeah. So I did approach him and said, would you get involved? And he, you know, he said straight away, yes. So he's all about helping in the same way, helping people to get into sport, helping people who want a challenge, just, you know, people who want to, you know, I've got a couple of people who want to train for one of the events happening, I think a week or 2 weeks after ours, and they want to come and train. I think it's a Spartan event, and they want to use ours as a training session ahead of that. And I know Alan would be great at encouraging everybody. So especially if he knows that people are going through again and maybe 3-4 times around our track.
Yeah. I mean, he is an amazing athlete. You know, I looked at his social medias and that, and what an athlete. And I was like, I'm so jealous. But then I'm coming down. So I'm coming down to the event. You know, I entered your little competition and I won a free entry. I was like, woohoo! Yeah.
I know. When I took your name out, I said, can you believe it?
I'm promoting for you as well. But no, it's good. It's good. Everything's good. I'm going to quickly touch on the price, because people look at the price and sometimes they get put off by it. All right. But let's so we're going to talk about yours. It's £55 is the entry fee. However, for £55, you're going to get 7 kilometres, 27 obstacles. Yeah.
Yes.
But above all that, you're including free car parking. Yeah?
Yes.
Free spectators.
Yes.
Everyone gets a medal who completes it. Yeah. Everyone gets a shirt.
Yes.
How are you going to make money? Because you can't give all that away and make money yourself.
I know. And it's not so much about us making money. We want to make money so that we can donate to Mind, which would be great. Yeah. And that's why I've gone out to ask for as many sponsors as I can to help with some of the costs, because I'm not going to lie, putting on an event, as you'll know, of this type is a really costly event. You know, you're talking insurance, you're talking toilets, you know, first aid, generators, everything costs. We've got the traffic management company in place to provide stop and goes on 2 of my roads. So, you know, there's a lot of costs. So we ummed and ahed for a long time about pricing. And, you know, we've done a lot of research in terms of other companies. We didn't want to be at the too high end, because obviously we're not at that level yet. But at the same time, we have to cover costs and, you know, at the same time, try and provide as much within there as we can. So we're hoping our pricing is fair. And, you know, we know it's going to be, I keep saying it, but an amazing event, but it will be, because that's what we're here to do. And I know as a team of 4 that we have, with lots of people in the background supporting us, it will be incredible.
I have no doubt about it. Like I say, I am actually looking forward to it. It's one of the events, you know, that for me it's going to be very much fun. I think it's a week. I think it's going to be the 4th week in a row I'm running. Yes, I think it's the 4th week in a row I'm running. I'm glad it's only 7K, because I have got an ultra in that 4 weeks at some point, and I know I've got a 20 miler as well. So I am glad it's only 7K. I am going to be pushing around.
Are these excuses, Alan, as to, you know, how good or not you might be?
These are excuses. I'm getting them in quite early right now. They are coming in quite early. I mean, me personally, I've got Man v Mountain early September. Then I think there's a Tough Mudder coming up in the middle, which is the Infinity. So that should be a big one. And I've got a fell race as well. So it's going to be the 4th week in a row. I'm going to try and drag the wife down as well, because, you know, you've turned around and said it's going to be the fun element of it. She hasn't been to one for a while where there's fun element. Are you going to have vendors and things like that in the event village and that?
Yeah, so far I've got a crepe van, so people will be able to have a crepe, and also a refreshment, so coffee van that does soft drinks and hot drinks. I'm also looking for another supplier. I was let down by one, unfortunately, so I am looking for another caterer. My idea is to have 2 food caterers and obviously the 1 refreshments. And then obviously within that area, you're going to have music, you're going to have the toilets. somewhere where people can leave car keys. But I would say is, if people can just make sure the majority of stuff is kept in cars, and then just leave us with, a car key if need be. And then obviously the registration area. So we don't want to do alcohol on site because it's not about that. And obviously from our perspective, we've had to go through, and I'm sure it's the same for most places, the council event team, which involves environmental health and police and fire and everyone else. And they've said, please, can you avoid doing that? Because obviously with it being an OCR, so I said, that's absolutely fine. So yes, so there's going to be lots there. The spectators will be well looked after.
I'm going to say this, I'm not going to ask you to comment, but I've dealt with safety advisory groups in councils several times, and I've dealt with Lincolnshire's safety advisory groups just outside Grantham, and I know they are very, very strict on rules and regulations, and you will put an event plan in and then you think it's perfect and they say, no, it's not, and it comes back and you have to change it and it goes backwards and forwards 5 and 6 times before they eventually get signed off. I know what they're like to work with, and I know Lincolnshire is one of the more stricter ones, shall we say.
Yes.
So I'm not asking for no comment from you. I don't want you to get none of that I'm saying that from my point of view. I don't deal with them now. Yeah, I don't deal with them now. But their hearts are in the right place. They are looking after people, and it's great that we have organisations like that turn around and make sure that new events like yourself are doing it right. And that is one of the reasons why British Obstacle Sports have looked at you and sort of giving you, because this is the first time I know of British Obstacle Sports give a license to an event that has never put one on before as well. So
wow, that's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, everyone that I know about, it's always been the second, third, even fourth event. They've let them put one on first, because to become a licensed event, and we'll go down a bit behind the scenes here, Julie, if you're all right with this, and tell our listeners a little bit, because they don't know these things. They don't always tell them, but they look at the finances, they look at the infrastructure,
yes,
they look at you, they will look at you and the landowners and make sure you're the right people to put them on. And this is even before they even look at what type of race you're going to put on and everything else. So it is a big ask. To make sure your insurance is in place is the big one. I think it's amazing that you've got the license straight up. And did you go to them to ask them for their help, or did they come to you? Can I ask that?
I think so. It's a long time ago now, but I think initially I emailed them to ask for support, said that we were looking to set up an obstacle course race and would like to have a conversation with them for advice. And off the back of that, I had a Teams or a Zoom call with them. And then obviously I've been in touch with them since, and they've been brilliant at providing me with support and guidance, even down to a broker who specialises in obstacle course race insurance and, the relevant insurance companies to go to. So, they've been brilliant with me, really, really fantastic. But I suppose I've been open to lots of feedback because, as I say, I'm an event manager by trade, but I've not put on an OCR event before. And so therefore, I wanted to make sure we got as much help and guidance from people who are experts in it, because then we can make sure that we're doing everything as we should be. Absolutely
perfect. And if people want to sign up, they need to go to www.diablochallenge.co.uk. Get in there early. Get signed up, guys and girls. Get signed up. We said it's in Lincolnshire, but whereabouts exactly in Lincolnshire is it?
So it's in a place called Crowle, which is in North Lincolnshire. And if everyone looks on the website, I've actually put the postcode, but I've also put a what 3 words because it gets you a more precise location. But when people are coming down the road into the countryside, they will see massive flags and a sign which says obviously where they need to go, and there'll be lots of marshals there to guide people.
I like that. How far away are you from Retford?
From Retford, about 25 minutes.
Okay. And a lot of my listeners will know that because there used to be Airfield Anarchy was at Retford, and a lot of my listeners know about that one. So there you go, guys and girls. That's how far away you are. You are 25 minutes away from Retford. What about Grantham?
So Grantham will probably be about, I would say about 40 minutes. Leeds is 45 minutes, York is 45 minutes, Lincoln is 45 minutes, and Hull is 45 minutes. So we're right in the centre of each of those, big 45 minutes from everywhere. So, and if you were coming over from Manchester, you're talking about an hour and a half. From Nottingham, an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we're not that far from a lot of places.
That's mainly, though, because you're coming from like Nottingham and Manchester, you're coming across the country around them little back roads and things like that, aren't you?
And also on the M62, so it's nice and easy because we're straight off the motorway. A lot of the time you can go M62, M18, M180, and you're literally about a 5 minutes, 10 minutes drive off the motorway. So it's nice and easily accessible.
So I can't say nothing because that means it's only going to be a 30-minute drive from me from sunny Barnsley.
Yeah, so
it
might be 30 to 45 minutes. So everywhere seems to be about 45 minutes away, but
yeah,
the more the merrier for us. We want people from all over.
Definitely. Thank you for joining me today, Julie. It's great being chatting to you and everything else. Do you want to give any shouts out? I know we give one out to any more shout outs before I let you go and get back to your training in your evening?
No, I think just for every single one of the suppliers that have offered to support us, and whether that's financial or whether it's equipment or whether it's their time, which is as important as anything else. And just, from our perspective, we are just so grateful. And also we just want people to just give us that chance, because we know it's going to be a success, but it can only be a success if we get lots of people coming to see us. So the more the merrier for us. And if everyone can just go on and buy some tickets, it will be amazing to see loads of people there.
Sign up, people. www.diablochallenge.co.uk. You've got it.
Thank you. Thanks ever so much.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say